Hello, everybody. Let's talk about bodies. Let's talk about your body. What if your body has a consciousness of its own? And one of the things I look at with my body with that question is being more like an animal. What if you were more like an animal? That would be fun. I actually kind of think that would be fun. It would be a lot easier. And I start to look at how am I actually more like an animal than I think that I am. So we have a mind and we have we are infinite beings, and we have these bodies, and those three things are not the same thing. You as an infinite being don't actually require a body, but you have one right now. You have this particular body that you have right now. And your body has, like, in the creation of your body, it like took on this, it has a consciousness of its own that like sparked the creation of this body. And then we develop the mind, and if you look at a baby or a toddler or a child that is, before they're 7 years old, let's say, 6 or 7 years old, they don't really have a mind. They have curiosity. They function more from how an infinite being would function and more from the consciousness of their body. If you look at a baby, this is a great example, like a baby, it cries when it's hungry, it sleeps when it's tired. It's like the rhythms of the body, the way that that particular baby's body functions. It runs the show. It actually runs the show for everybody. If you've ever had a baby, you know how that goes. But what happens is we teach children, over the course of their lifetime, and especially when they start to go to school at age 6, 7, we teach them how to think like adults. We actually teach them how to have a mind and how to think. And when we think, we compute, and when we compute, we diminish what's available to be received and to be experienced through the consciousness of our bodies and who we are as infinite beings, like an infinite being that gets to play with this body in this lifetime. And so if you look at how we are with bodies as adults, so much of it is this like computational, conclusionary reality of like, this is how bodies function, this is how they are, this is what they need, this is what they do, this is how they work. And we all sort of like adopt these points of view about our bodies, but we never ask our bodies. We never tune in and go, hey, what's true for you, And if you have ever had an animal, you know that animals are different. They have different personalities, but that's not from their mind. It's more from who they are as a being and who they are, like the nature of their body. And animals have different rhythms too, like their bodies have different rhythms. And, with a baby or an animal, like you wouldn't try, well, I guess some people would, but I wouldn't advise, it's not really like the most pragmatic and effective thing to like try to force an animal into a particular physical rhythm or, circadian rhythm or whatever, or a baby as well. And a lot of people do that with babies because they think they have to like sleep train them and all that. But that's more to make the baby more convenient for you rather than to honor what the baby's body is asking for. Story for another time. But we don't do that with our bodies. Like we start to take on these points of view about how our bodies function, and then we're like, okay, my body needs 3 meals a day. My body needs 8 hours of sleep a day. My body needs X number of, whatever, like all the food groups and all that stuff. And we lose the ability, we lose the curiosity with our bodies, and we lose the ability to be in question with our bodies and because the thing is, when you're in question with your body, you can actually start to be responsive to the consciousness of your body as a unique creature, as a unique animal, as a unique thing, a unique organism, really, that is here, on this planet at this time doing its thing. And everybody is so unique. And that's one of the things that is like a lot of times what creates sickness and disease and illness and ill health is when we try to shove our bodies into this particular paradigm of how they're supposed to function, without being like, well, what's true for my body? If my body was its own unique creature, its own unique organism, if it was its own unique animal, if it was an animal, how would it function? Like, what would be true for this particular body? And one of the reasons we don't actually ask those questions about our bodies and to our bodies, of our bodies, is because we don't trust them. Like, we actually think that bodies are not to be trusted. That's a very religious, it's a point of view that has a lot of religious origins of like, I'm going to be gluttonous, I'm going to be, hedonistic, which is a bad thing, according to a lot of people. I actually think hedonism is a wonderful thing. But I'm going to be all these things. I'm going to be, I like, my body's just going to want to like eat all the time or have sex all the time or whatever. But that's a judgment. That's a judgment and actually a betrayal of the consciousness of your body. It's not an acknowledgement of the brilliance of your body, how smart your body actually is, how wise your body is, and how much it actually has this incredibly brilliant way of moving and being in the world. And when we start to orient toward our bodies in that way, it's amazing what can change. Like I used to have really severe seasonal allergies, and I did all these things. I was like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. I did diets, I did, homeopathy and Chinese medicine. I did urine shots. I did all kinds of crazy stuff to try to make the allergies go away. And like some of it helped a little bit, but when I started using actually the tools of access consciousness that with my body, I started to actually have way more communion with it and treat it as the consciousness that it is, and honor and acknowledge my body as its own unique organism. And as I did that, my body really started to show me different things, respond in different ways. And the very act of being with my body in that way, and also doing a lot of energy work and adding the energetic, the hands-on energetic tools from Access Consciousness, my body completely started to evolve in this incredible way that was based on its own consciousness, its own movement, its own organicity, in the direction of something greater. And the allergies just went away, and my body gets greater all the time. Even, being 52 years old, and it's like my body gets greater. It does not get older. It gets greater every day, every year. And but we can't do that. We can't create that. We can't have that if we're not in question with our bodies. So, and we're not acknowledging that this body is its own unique organism that has an intelligence and a consciousness of its own. And when we lean into that, we ask it questions and we wonder, what it's all about, what things are like for this amazing body. We get to have really cool feedback and really cool, just a really cool, a totally different way of being with our bodies that allows our bodies to become the greatness that they are. So I hope this was a contribution. If you are interested in more stuff, more resources for your body, there's the Access Consciousness bars. There's a Global Bars Day and a Global Bars class coming up. You can go to accessconsciousness.com and check that out. There's Access Consciousness body processes. So these hands-on, incredible, energetic processes and classes that you can take to learn them and receive them, where we get to really create this different space with our bodies, and all kinds of resources as well on my YouTube channel and website. for body, a totally different possibility, different reality with bodies. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being curious about what else is possible with your body.